You know, originally I wanted to like have my Fridays or Saturdays reserved for like Zatsu, where it would be like we talk about how our week went and at the end of the day how we're feeling and all those stuff like that. Because I don't know, whenever I go to sleep I always think about how I could possibly improve myself and how all the experiences that I've had thus far, what do they mean to me, and like what can I do to make it so that I'm a better dragon, right? So I was thinking of like something just to unwind everyone and have them just walk out feeling better and less stressed. There's less weight on your shoulders. Yeah, I wanted to do something like that. Because let me go ahead and tell you my thought process. First, let me back up because this first thing popped into my mind. There was this time I was petting my dog. I was laying in my bed and petting my dog, and we were all cuddled up. His snout was like right against my nose and everything, and I had my eyes closed and his eyes were closed, and I was just enjoying this moment, this very close moment I had with my dog. And I was thinking to myself, maybe it's a little too self-aware. I was thinking something like this doesn't matter because there is possibly, almost surely someone else doing this in this world. So therefore this moment is not special at all. Because who would care about this sort of thing? And then I thought, I would care. So that's why it's special. And when I had that realization, it made me realize that maybe a lot of people could learn from that sort of thinking, that line of thinking, right? Because a lot of people in this world feel like living life is it's like there's no point to living, right? Because who cares about what you do? And I would think that, you should care. You would care about what you do. You would care about what kind of food you eat and whether or not it's good. You would care about whether or not you get better at this hobby that you're doing. And I think that maybe some people would be like, well, you know what? I don't care then. I don't care. So therefore there is nobody in this world that cares. And I think that maybe you should. Because if there's no one else that cares, then you should. You should be the one that cares. You know what I mean? Well, if there's no point in living, then why does it matter? Does there have to be a point in living? Why don't we just live to live? Why don't we just exist then? Why does that have to be a bad thing? It's not a bad thing to just be alive. Maybe you don't have a direction in your life you're going in, but that's fine too. It'll come to you eventually if you want it to. But do you need to have a direction in your life? You don't need to. Sometimes people just wander around aimlessly, and that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with it. People only think it's bad because they think there's something wrong with doing that. Why do you think there's no point in just living? Do you think there has to be a point to living? I just don't think that there has to be. If you don't have any goals, you're just rotting away. I don't agree with you. I think there are plenty of people out there that don't have any goals, and I don't think they're rotting away. They're still living, just like the rest of us. There's a lot of people out there that can be motivated and have tons of goals and tons of things that they're chasing in life, but I just feel like to have a goal doesn't mean that you can't live. It doesn't mean that you're not living. Maybe some people want to have a goal, and what if some people don't want to have a goal? What if some people are just living day to day and they're okay with that? Does that mean they're rotting away still? I don't think so. You start decomposing after you hit 25 years old anyway, so I don't think that anyone ever has to focus on something in life. I think that if you don't have anything to focus on, that's fine. If you don't have anything to focus on right now, that's fine too. And if you do have something to focus on and it's hard to get there, that's fine too. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing nothing either. As long as you're not impeding on other people and hurting them. As long as you're not hurting yourself or like others around you, it's fine. You should always be focused on something. It doesn't have to have some deep meaning though. If you want. I think it's pretty much impossible though to have someone or to be completely unfocused on something day to day. I think that's like pretty much impossible because there's obviously there are things that you have to do to at least live. Like you have to drink water. You have to eat food. You have to go to the bathroom, and those things can be things you focus on. And maybe sometimes you can have like small goals for yourself. Like I know that people with depression sometimes they struggle to brush their teeth, or they struggle to keep up hygiene, like to clean their room or to take a shower. Maybe that could be your small goal for the day if you want to have goals. Like sometimes there are just some days where you feel like you can't do anything, and that's fine too. I don't think you should ever beat yourself up for having those sorts of days. and then feeling that there's nothing you can do. Tell that to Hina. Oh, I will! I love Hina with all my heart, and I'll always be there for her no matter what. She's cute, and I love her. And sometimes you have to just, like, relax and just let your shoulders go slack and stuff. Did something catalyst this line of thought, by the way? I was petting my dog. I was petting my dog and I thought to myself, this is not special, this doesn't matter. Because there are tons of other people petting their dog right now. And who cares? But I thought that line of thinking was inherently flawed because I care. And it matters to me. And then we started talking about this. And then there was another time when I was going to sleep and I was thinking to myself about how I could improve myself. And then I was wondering, what is the point of constantly improving myself? What if I just want to be myself instead of trying to chase this higher being that I want to be? What is the point of this? Why will I never be satisfied with just who I am? What is wrong with just being who I am? And then I realized that, like, there's other people who are constantly wanting to improve themselves too. What is wrong with just being yourself? If you're not hurting anyone, if you're not causing pain to others, then what's the point? Because I am so like obsessed with trying to be better. Dama, thank you so much for the super chat. Being aware of the little moments makes life great. I know! It feels great! It feels good to be able to self-reflect. It's nice. Thank you, by the way. And I don't know, I just kept thinking about it. And of course I was half delirious because I was half asleep and whatnot. So it's like I can't remember most of the thoughts, and maybe they weren't even completely coherent. But I just thought about it. And I don't know, maybe don't you think there's a point where you don't have to improve anymore? I don't know, because I've been so obsessed with it for many years now. And I've gotten to the point where I'm happy with who I am now, but before I was definitely a very bad person, I think. I'm not talking in the span of like a few years. I'm talking in the span of like many years. I think I used to be a person who would hurt people willingly, and I'd say really evil and mean things just because I thought that like hurting them was funny, and it would make me feel better to see others who are lesser than me have agony or experience agony. And I'm not like that anymore. And I'm glad I'm not like that anymore, because when I was like that, I was definitely very unstable, just in a not good place in my life. But I used to be that kind of person. And once I realized being that way is completely wrong, being that way is wrong, I became very obsessed with constantly being better. And just wanting to apologize to the people that I've wronged. Stop playing League. But you know, some people, they don't want to be apologized to. And that's definitely something you'll have to deal with too. Sometimes you've hurt someone so deeply, you've caused such deep scars on who they are that they just will never accept you. And they never want to talk to you again. Apologies for you. Yeah, it's half for you and half for them, right? Half for you because you think you've grown as a person, and half for the other person because you truly think you've done wrong by treating them that way before. Okay, it's been 8 minutes. Where's Amy? Where's Amy? Where is she?
My fellow brothers, in the face of our common dangers, in this winter of our hardship, remember these timeless words, as we can.